Brothers and sisters, the gospel story today about the miraculous catch of fish. There's actually two catches. One at the beginning, this is the story you heard just now, and the second one we hear at Sunday Resurrection Matins Gospels, a story that occurs after the resurrection of Christ. However, both of these cases are filled with both psychological and spiritual sense, meaning, both for the apostles of the Lord and for all of us. And this story, today's story, gives us plenty to think about. What is a miracle? What is obedience? And what is the fear of God? Okay, at least those three things. Because Peter says to the Lord, when the miracle occurs, "Get away from me, Lord, for I am a sinful man." Now, on another occasion, Christ talks to us and teaches us to be like children, because it is necessary to retain the Spirit in order to enter into the life of the kingdom. This perception of life we should never lose. Look at children. They have a very fresh view of the world and life around them. They perceive everything as a miracle. Everything is a miracle. However, as we get older, we get sort of tired of life. We say, yes, I've seen that. Yeah, I've heard that. Nothing new. And that's a very dangerous state of spirit, because we can get into, by progression, sort of desensitization to a state where that the Holy Fathers called stony insensibility or insensitivity. So the psychological meaning of a real miracle, because I say in inverted commas, because everything is a miracle around us. It's all from God. It's a miracle. And that's the perception we need to retain. But when God adds something even greater to all the miracles that surround us, this is what we see. It's a kind of a shock. The apostles are shocked, and Peter is shocked and driven into a fear. Okay. About obedience. Adam lost paradise because of his disobedience, right? And our Lord Jesus Christ, the second Adam, presents to us an image of obedience to the Father, to the death, right? So why does God need our obedience? Does he need to control us or something? Of course not. Obedience is needed for us. Because when we think that we are striving towards doing something good, or serving God, or seeking the kingdom of heaven, spiritual life, yes, that's good, but all of these drives are filled with impurity. And actually the Holy Fathers, they wept not about their sins, but they wept about their virtues, because they realized that their virtues were never pure, that sin as a very slight impurity always, that comes from our pride, in its many manifestations, is always attached to anything good that we do. And so it's obedience which is cutting off our will, can bring about a purity, because there's no longer, my will is no longer present in the things that I do. I'm totally obedient, if that's ever possible. Now, C.S. Lewis, the great English Christian writer, in his book The Great Divorce, he explains that those people who are serious in their life about saying to God, let thy will be done, as the Lord gave in his prayer, the Lord's Prayer, that those people end up in heaven. And the other people who choose hell, to them, God says, let your will be done. You chose this. So this is your will. Now, in today's story, the fact that Peter knew that it was impossible to catch anything. They'd been trying to fish all night. They caught nothing. So he knows that it's humanly impossible. But he cuts away his will, his own will, and says, I'll do, it's impossible, he implies, but I'll do it because you said it. Okay? Obedience is not like, the obedience of a dog, or obedience in the military. Obedience is a form of love. So he does it out of love for his teacher. He does it. And this obedience is immediately rewarded with a rich catch, a miraculous catch. And seeing this, Peter falls down on his knees and cries out, Lord, get away from me, because I'm a sinful man. And this is good, because this is the beginning of, this fear is the beginning of wisdom, as the book of Proverbs in the Old Testament says. This fear is a sense of the deepest respect and veneration for God. Fear is a great motivator. It's one of the three forces that move all of us. Fear, hope, and love. Now, when the fear of God enters our heart, and we truly begin to fear God in that sense, we will progress to the next stage, to hope. And after that, to love. And we will become children of God, because St. John in his first chapter says that he has given us the power to become the children of God. We'll be the children of God, but we will be mature adults as well. We will retain that freshness of perception, that purity of heart that sees the whole world and all of life around us as a miracle. Glory be to our God unto the ages.